Oliver Stone once said, "Never underestimate the power of jealousy and the power of envy to destroy you." This case that I'm going to cover today perfectly illuminates that statement. Hello everyone, my name is Anya, and in this video we're going to take a look at what happened on this night in the year 1995. This is the story of Christa Pike and the murder of Colleen Slemmer. Christa Pike was a young woman who never had an easy life. She grew up in a very unstable family. Both of her parents had drug and alcohol issues, and they were very neglectful towards their daughter. Christa was raised primarily by her grandmother, and Christa would go on to say that she believed her grandmother was the only person who ever loved her. Her grandmother's death when Christa was only 12 years old deeply impacted her, and as she grew up, she attempted suicide on a number of occasions, and she became involved in petty crime. Christa was also eventually diagnosed as having bipolar disorder, a mental illness that causes extreme mood swings. Christa never received any proper help or support for her mental illness. She eventually began to abuse drugs and alcohol herself with the encouragement of her mother, and her school performance down the drain. At the age of 18, in an attempt to turn her life around, Christa enrolled at the Job Corps in Tennessee. The Job Corps is a program that offers free education and life skills for young people who look to start their lives and get a job. It was while she was at the Job Corps that Christa began a relationship with 17-year-old Tadaryl Shipp. Now, let me just say, Tadaryl Shipp is the sort of bloke that you would never want to bring home to your family for dinner. He had a deep fascination for Satanism and the occult, and it wasn't long before he drew Christa into his crazy obsessions. Another student at the Job Corps was 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer. Now, Christa never liked Colleen. She got it into her head that Colleen was also interested in Tadaryl, and she eventually began to believe that Colleen planned to steal Tadaryl away from her. Now, Colleen's friends and family would later go on to say that Colleen never had any interest in Tadaryl. She had no romantic feelings towards him whatsoever. Regardless, Christa believed that in order to ensure that Tadaryl was hers, she had to get rid of Colleen altogether. On the night of the 12th of January 1995, Christa, Tadaryl and another friend, Shadola Peterson, invited Colleen to go out for the evening. Christa told Colleen that she had some marijuana and she simply wanted to make peace. Once the four got as far away from the campus as was allowed, Christa Pike and Tadaryl Shipp began to attack Colleen, with Shadola Peterson acting as a lookout. For the next half an hour, Christa and Tadaryl brutally assaulted Colleen, with Christa demanding to know every single detail about Colleen's supposed relationship with Tadaryl. Despite Colleen's protest that she had no relationship with Tadaryl, Christa either didn't believe her or didn't want to believe her. Using a box cutter, Christa and Tadaryl slashed Colleen hundreds of times and went so far as to carve a pentagram onto her chest, allegedly to release her soul to Satan. Christa eventually ended Colleen's suffering by hitting her in the head with a large rock, killing her instantly. Leaving Colleen's body, the three returned to campus and acted like nothing had happened. Colleen Slemmer's body was found the following morning and an investigation into her murder was immediately launched. Now, you would think that with a murder as brutal as Colleen Slemmer's, you'd think the killer would want to hide away and act like they had nothing to do with it. Not Christa Pike. She was proud of what she had done. She was bragging to other students on campus about what she had done to Colleen. And she went so far as to take a souvenir from the crime scene. I'm not going to say what sort of souvenir it was. Let's just say that it was quite disturbing, for lack of a better description. 2 days after Colleen's murder, Christa Pike, Daryl Shipp and Shadola Peterson were all arrested for her murder. Christa's bragging around campus pinned her as the prime suspect, and there was also the evidence that 4 students had signed out of the campus, but only 3 signed back in. Clue? Despite Christa making the claim that she only lured Colleen out to scare her and that had gone too far, she was charged with first-degree murder. In 1996, Christa Pike and Daryl Shipp were both found guilty of murder. Daryl Shipp was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 25 years. Shadola Peterson turned informant against Christa Pike and Daryl Shipp, and she was eventually found guilty of being an accessory to the murder. She received probation with no time to serve afterwards. Christa Pike, the ringleader of the murder of Colleen Slemmer, was found guilty of first degree and sentenced to death. Despite multiple appeals and campaigns, Christa Pike's death sentence has been upheld. The murder of Colleen Slemmer is probably one of the most disturbing that I've ever covered on my channel. I know I've said before that jealousy is a very, very deadly disease, but the story of Christa Pike and the murder of Colleen Slemmer takes it to a whole new level. Oliver Stone once said, "Never underestimate the power of jealousy and the power of envy to destroy you." In my honest opinion, the story of Christa Pike and what she did to Colleen Slemmer perfectly illuminates that statement. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. My name is Anya, and we've just looked at what happened on this day.